Today, we are going deep on consistency, what it means to be consistent, how being consistent might be difficult for some of us, and what we can do to stay consistent, to reach our goals, and to really start from the inside out. So if you've had issues or difficulties with being consistent in the past, this is definitely an episode for you. I hope that you enjoy, and let's get into it. Welcome to Aligning on My Time, the podcast dedicated to empowering women on a journey back to their hearts, deepening their self-love, and reclaiming their self-worth. I'm your host, Naomi Sarah, and together we'll explore the realms of mindset, personal, and spiritual development. Join me as I share my own experiences and stories, blending insights from self-study, courses, coaching, and mentorship. We'll dive into mental health and wellness, providing the tools and inspiration you need, embracing your voice and destiny on your own terms, in your own time. Let's embark on this transformative journey together, reconnecting with our true selves. Welcome back. This is Aligning on My Time with Naomi Sarah. I have been missing MIA. Yes, I know, for a few months. I want to just talk about something that I have been working on internally for these past few months. The reason behind why I took a step back from social media, from my coaching, from even, continuing with my podcast. If you yourself have been in a similar situation or are currently experiencing something like that, then you're not alone. I want to talk today about consistency, staying consistent, remembering your whys, and really getting clear on the reasons behind what you're doing, what you're choosing to do, and, how well you're following through with it. Honestly, consistency has been something that's been a bit difficult for me my entire life. I always start things. I love a new hobby. I love a new project. I love to dive deep into something and learn something new completely. And then, I never follow through. I never finish a project. I never stick with something long enough to see real results. Maybe the only thing that I've actually completed fully was university and my YouTube channel. I stuck with that and I was able to get monetized after the rules had changed so many times on me. But even with that, I'm not really consistent right now. And I just want to talk more about that and why some of us might fall into these ruts of not being able to finish things and of not being able to be consistent in our lives. The reason why a lot of us are not very consistent in life, it differs. It totally depends on your experiences, the way you view yourself, your boundaries with yourself and with others, and it is mostly due to honoring yourself and keeping your promises, keeping your words to yourself. And sometimes it can be a bit of procrastination as well, or wanting to be perfect, so we're not starting things or finishing things if we fall off track, if they're not really going according to plan. There are so many reasons behind why, we might have an issue with being consistent in our lives. I'm personally trying to be consistent with my health. I've been having health issues for the past few years, and, this year I really got frustrated and had some reality checks about what could happen if I don't really stick up for myself, if I don't stay consistent, if I don't try to get to the root of the issue and really heal it from there. It's honestly been very tough. It's been a lot of lifestyle changes. Honestly, I'm not perfect in it every day. I do have to really think about, why am I doing this? What am I going to get out of this if I skip my supplements for the day, or if I don't eat enough protein? There are so many reasons why it's hard to stay on track. But at the end of the day, I'm always trying to remind myself, what is this for in the long run? This is for me. I'm doing this to be healthy. I'm doing this to feel good in my body. I'm doing this to not be in pain every time I have my period, or, I'm doing this so that I can have better mobility and just set myself up for the future, instead of just thinking about right now, right here, and just caving into my cravings, my desires that I want right now, and really putting things into perspective for myself. Another area that I've honestly struggled to stay consistent in was my finances. I'm trying to fix my finances. I've been trying to budget. I have paid off a lot of the debt that I had at the beginning of the year. And there have been a lot of surprise things that popped up that I needed to pay and needed to come up with the money. Even with that, and staying consistent and not falling back into buying things because I want them, but really looking at, okay, if I buy this right now, then that's going to take me even longer to pay off this credit card or to pay off my car loan or other things that are just sucking the money, sucking the life out of me and stopping me from being able to enjoy and do the things that I am honestly working very hard for. Right now, a lot of my money honestly is going to paying my debt. I'm really tired of being stuck in that cycle where I might pay it off, and then what happened before was that I bought my house, so I paid off all my debt and then got my house, ended up back in debt by doing renovations because I wasn't happy with how things were in the house and I wanted things to be fixed right then, right now. But with that, I ended up back in the same cycle of, okay, now I have this debt that I need to pay. And then I ended up getting a car. Like, there's so many things where my mindset just didn't change, even though I got the money, I paid off my debts. I did it before, I know I can do it again, but I don't want to be stuck in that cycle. With that, I really had to start looking at my mindset. How do I feel about money? Why do I keep ending up in the same cycle? No matter how many times I pay off my debt, I end up back in debt, and I was tired of it. I had to be honest with myself and pretend like I didn't know everything and start from scratch and really be consistent and stick to my plan and make a budget and not let my desire in the moment affect my plan and being consistent and sticking with it. Money is something that we can all relate to, right? I don't think there's many people in my life that I know of who are truly happy with where they are financially. I know some people who don't have debt and they are able to live more free and they're able to spend things on what they want and not feel like, oh, I have to decide whether I want this or that. I look at that and I'm like, it's possible I can get there. There are literally people right in front of me, my dad, for example, he works for himself. He built his business and now he is able to spend freely. He's never worrying about where the money is going to come from or if he has enough or if he can get what he wants. He sees something and he buys it because he wants it. That's where I want to be. In order to get there, though, I have to be a bit more consistent. I have to really be disciplined within myself and create a plan and stick to it. With all that said, this is how I feel that we can maybe start moving past these inconsistencies and these blockages that are not allowing us to stay consistent and are maybe making us self-sabotage or have doubt or fear or allow ourselves to have weak boundaries and a lack of self-discipline. Sometimes too, it's procrastination where we really want things to be perfect. And if we are on a path of creating something or to getting from point A to point B, and along the way, something goes wrong, a lot of us are going to just stop right there, drop whatever it is that we were working towards and brush it off and say, oh, it didn't work, so I'm going to try something else. Instead of trying again, instead of staying consistent and being gentle and patient with yourself, knowing that it's okay to fail. It's okay if we mess up. What matters is what we do after that. If you're just going to drop it and move on to the next thing, or if you're going to look at the reason why maybe something didn't work, see how we can fix that, and then continue on without making that same mistake. Self-reflection, being curious is super important if we want to stay consistent. Some other ways that we can remain consistent and stay on path is to meditate on it. Look at some times in the past where you were not able to stay consistent and look at what happened and see if there are any patterns in your life. If you end up in the same situation with different things, what are the things that are the same? What sticks out to you? And work on that. Or sometimes it can be a generational thing as well, where you've always seen maybe your parents or your grandparents or whoever raised you never being able to stay consistent. Sometimes that's how we think things should be. Really looking at your environment and your surroundings and your beliefs and how you feel, how you view that things should go for you. That can also be something that holds you back. And if you're willing to challenge that, if you're willing to change it, it can be the thing that propels you forward. Because maybe you're the one who's meant to break this. Maybe you're the one who's meant to go down a different path and show your family or be that example for people who didn't have that and show them that it's possible. possible to stay consistent, to win whatever it is that's in your heart or your soul, whatever it is that you want and see for yourself. It's possible to get there. Another thing that can be very beneficial in your journey to consistency, honestly, I feel like it's just being easy and gentle with yourself and knowing that it's a process, knowing that it's a journey. A lot of the times we get stuck because we feel like how things have happened in the past or how they're going to happen again. Or, we don't have any examples or evidence of things being different. One thing that I have learned to say to myself and to people who come to me for ideas or advice is, just because something has been one way in the past, that's not how it's going to be in the future. The future is not even here yet. So why are you trying to decide on how your future is going to be in a negative way? If it's not here yet, then why don't you put all that energy into how you want it to be instead of how things have been and already creating that reality for yourself? I think it's really important for us to be open to things being different and to give space for that to show up instead of always expecting the worst case scenario or how things have always been is how they're always going to be. Like, no, this ends here. We're going into a new year. We're going into a new cycle where you can start shifting the way you think and the way that things end up for you. It doesn't always have to be the same. It doesn't always have to be how it's been before. So you honestly have to make that decision to change, to start shifting the way you think, to be easy with yourself, because it's not easy. I think it's the hardest thing to shift your mindset, to shift how you view yourself and what you feel you deserve. But if you can do that, then you're going to grow exponentially. You're going to see your life change so much faster. You have the ability to allow things to be different. You're not letting yourself be so stuck on already knowing what's going to happen. Sometimes the magic comes in when we're not quite sure where we're going or what we're going to be doing, but in allowing things to unfold for us and listening to our bodies and our cues and doing what feels good and what feels right and moving in that direction. I know for myself, this past year, I've been doing a lot of unlearning. I have been doing a lot of questioning about the ideologies and the modalities that I've learned since 2021. And I've really been trying to get back to my own voice and to my own inner authority of doing things that work for me instead of blindly following what someone says I should be doing because I paid them or because they've been able to heal all these people by getting them to do these same things. But what I have realized is a lot of people are liars. A lot of people will do whatever they can when money is involved to keep that money flowing. They will start out virtuous. They will start out with good intentions, but as popularity, as money, as abundance increases, sometimes, things get blurry and we're not always sure why people do what they do. But one thing that I really just felt so out of alignment with was how a lot of people make you pay for information or for blessings or healings or energy that I truly believe is free and abundant and always around us and ready to be tapped into when we are ready to receive, when we know that we don't have to pay some random person to give us blessings. Blessings are our birthright. Blessings are flowing through this universe, ready for anyone to take them. So yeah, I get that sometimes people want a lot of money because they've had to invest a lot of their own time and money into learning, but I don't think that means that they should be selling things to people, promoting this almost fear or selling based on people's negative states or their lows or where they are and promising them that their life can change, that they can have infinite abundance, infinite luck, infinite love, when at the end of the day, it's really you who has to do the work. You can pay $100,000 for the best course, but if you're not willing to do the work, then you're never going to reap the benefits. Anyone can tell you, yeah, this course will bring you love, will bring you luck. But if you're not willing to do the work and to really look at your own beliefs and how you view yourself and what you believe you're worthy of, then it's never going to work. I feel like this is where consistency comes in, because you have to believe that you're worthy of whatever it is that you're working towards. And a lot of the times we feel like we're not, and that's why we fall off, why we feel like, oh, well, it was never going to work anyways. Or we self-talk, our negative self-talk just stops us from becoming that version of ourselves that we see and that is already there and cheering us on. Consistency is so key, and the root of it is really building that belief in yourself that you can do it, being gentle with yourself and easy with yourself, and just trusting the process, knowing that it's not going to be perfect the first time. Maybe you're going to have to start 5 times, and maybe that 6th time is the time that everything clicks, that things start moving. Also, each time you start, you're not starting out from scratch. You have all of those experiences, those examples, that lived experience of what has happened before. You are going to use that to propel yourself further, to remember, oh no, last time I decided that I didn't want to let someone else down. But when you do that, you're letting yourself down, right? So put yourself first. Build that self-worth within yourself. Know that you're worth whatever it is that you're going after and that you deserve it. And just by you having that idea, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for you to think that I can be financially free. I can have an amazing relationship with my soulmate. There's a reason these ideas were placed in your head. It's not because it's impossible. It's because it's already done. You've already achieved these things. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you're able to start working towards it, and the sooner you're able to have fun on your journey and to let life unfold, let the lessons come, and be okay with messing up. Be okay with making a mistake. Just know that you're going to take that and use that as you go forward. It doesn't mean that you are a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're slow or you're not smart enough or anything like that. It means that you're willing to keep trying. It means that you believe in yourself. It means that you know you're worthy and you deserve it, because you're willing to keep going. You're willing to keep working towards what it is that you see for yourself. You trust and you know that when you get there, things are just going to be better for you. Things are going to fall into place, and it's going to make a lot of things in your life a lot easier to do, because you know that if you've done this, you can do that, right? And when I see others doing the same thing, that's another example of, if it's possible for them, it's possible for me. I can do it too. So now I just want to give you a few tips on how we can stay consistent and not let our negative self-talk or our boundaries let us down. I think I've mentioned this a few times already, but it's really key to not let your past define your future, okay? Again, if you've messed up before, that's okay. Get up and keep going, and use that as motivation. Use that as evidence that I can do it. Put that in your back pocket and just remember how it felt when you messed up, and remember your why. Remember why you're doing this, what it is that you're going to get out of it, where you're going to be at the end of it. For me, let's say for my health, one thing that I keep saying every time I go to the gym is, remember why you're doing this, okay? You want to be healthy. You want to feel good in your skin. You want to be able to get out of bed in the morning and not be in pain, to easily put your socks on. Like, I'm not joking, you guys. It used to be so difficult for me to even just bend over and put my socks on. My back was so stiff. I had no mobility. I could barely twist and turn. I just let myself go, and I was really paying for it and just feeling so down on myself and not liking my reflection in the mirror. So that was something that I had to honestly look at and be like, why can I not even look at myself in the mirror? What is it that I am not seeing within myself? Where am I lacking this self-love, this belief that I deserve to feel good in my body? Everything starts with you. If you want love, you have to be love. You have to show yourself love. You have to emit love. If you want to be financially abundant, you need to feel abundant in your life. You need to feel like everything is possible, and it is, and truly believe that mindset, and just not allowing these past experiences to dictate your ability to stay consistent and achieve your goals. Another thing that is super helpful is to start with small goals and to really be easy on yourself. Sometimes we might try to start a new project or something and it's like humongous, right? And there are so many steps and it might take us a very long time. So it's hard to stay consistent. It's hard to stay motivated when something is so big. And especially if you've had issues with staying consistent before, it's easy to fall back into that. A great thing for you to do is to start small. Choose a small goal that you can do a lot of them. Build up that belief in yourself that you can do it, that you can start something. Once you start doing that and, achieving these small goals, you're going to have that evidence within yourself to show that you can do whatever it is that you're setting out for. No matter how long it might take, you can do it. Let's say you're setting a goal to keep your house clean, right? So then you want to start with just cleaning one room at a time or one drawer at a time. Make a goal to clear out one drawer for that week. If you can do that easily, then maybe make that goal to clear out a drawer every 3 days and keep shortening it until you end up cleaning out all the drawers in your house. And then you can expand on that and say, okay, now I'm going to clean one room. So make that goal to be, I'm going to clear out one room in my house a week or a month, or get rid of things that I've been holding on to. As you keep doing that, then you have all these little micro goals that when you zoom out, you realize, wow, like I cleaned up my whole house. It might have taken me a bit of time, but I did these things. If I did that, I can do the next thing. That's another way that you can start building your evidence that you can be consistent and to stay consistent. So you can also have little rewards for yourself after each goal. Like maybe if you clean one room in your house, then you can buy one thing that you've really been wanting. Or let's say for weight loss, if you lose 3 pounds, right, in like 2 weeks, because it can be hard and it's very discouraging if you can't reach that, but you don't give up. So if you do reach your goal, then maybe you buy yourself a new piece of clothing or you do a little spa day for yourself. Make sure that you make your reward equal to the effort that you've put out. Let's say you pay off $30,000 of debt. Maybe you reward yourself by doing a little staycation or quick last minute vacation somewhere. Choose something that is equivalent to the effort that you put in. When you start doing that often, it becomes easier and easier, and maybe you don't need these rewards to stay consistent. It just becomes a habit. The last thing I want to say is just make sure that you celebrate your wins, no matter how small. So this can be in the form of the rewards that I was talking about, or just to tell yourself how proud you are of yourself, of the effort, of the hard work that you've done to get to where you wanted to go. Basically tell yourself, show yourself that you knew you could do it, that you did this all on your own. If you could do that, then you're capable of anything, right? I think I'm going to end it here. If you have anything that, you're wanting to work on this year in 2025, I would love to hear about it. Please leave a comment below. If you want to work with a coach, with someone to help keep you consistent and to keep you on track, I have some spots available for one-on-one coaching. So that's an option as well. Or I would say, lean on yourself. Get some motivational quotes. Listen to people like Jim Rohn or Tony Robinson, all these motivational speakers who can really pump you up and remind you that what you're doing is huge. When you put yourself first, I don't think you know how big of a deal that is, because we're so conditioned to put everyone else before us. I am a recovering people pleaser, and I say that because I don't think I'll ever be fully healed. It's always going to be an internal dialogue within myself of, am I a bad person because I'm not putting this person first? Am I a bad person because I'm doing what I want? It's a lifelong thing. So we really have to be gentle with ourselves and realize that when we make these decisions to honor ourselves, we are setting such a huge example for ourselves, for our children, for our friends, for our parents even, who maybe never even had the opportunity to put themselves first because maybe they had to live in survival mode their entire lives. Remember, you're literally a living example of how life can be. Don't ever discount or sell yourself short. You wanting to better yourself is amazing, and do not let anybody tell you any different. it all starts with you, how you view yourself, how you love yourself and show yourself love by being consistent, by keeping promises to yourself, by showing up for you. You're healing so many past wounds from childhood, from your ancestors. You are changing things, and that's a huge deal. 2025 is your year. You've got this. You can stay consistent. You are consistent. Consistency is you. Really start looking at the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you show up, the way that you hold yourself. Stand with your back straight, head high. Know that you can accomplish anything, and you will. With that, I wish you guys a wonderful new year. I'm wishing you an amazing 2025. I hope that 2024 was everything that you wanted it to be. Yeah, everything is aligning on your time. So do not be sad. Do not be scared. Do not rush. Everything is happening as it should. And I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Unlearning on My Time. I hope you found inspiration and empowerment on your journey back to your heart, deepening your self-love and self-worth. Remember, flourishing and abundance come from loving life, trusting the journey, and believing in the universe's plan for you. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others who are finding their voices and choosing their own destinies. Until next time, keep embracing your true self and living authentically. I'm Naomi Sarah, and this is Aligning on My Time. Stay bold, stay brave, and keep shining.